What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm extremely excited to be joined with Victor Gallegos because if you didn't know, this is the man who just broke barriers with the seasonal book arbitrage. I was, interviewed him, I think now a couple years ago, it might have been, where we learned about seasonal books like, Christmas books and high school books. And lately, after Victor Gallegos and I have kind of partnered, we created BookMine. We really are just business partners and help each other out, help each other's communities out. A lot of people are getting this feeling like you guys are getting too big. You know, the market's getting saturated. Online book arbitrage, maybe we got 2 years left and then we're done, right? You guys are growing too big, you're growing the community too fast. And both of us know that that's just couldn't be further from the truth, right? I mean, on Amazon, there's over 100 million titles listed. And before I just go on a rant here, I just want to introduce Victor to the channel. What's going on, Victor?
How's it going, Joji? Thanks for having me on. Every time we make one of these videos, it just helps out the community a ton. So, yeah, from our first video on, I mean, there was just magic there, right?
Yeah.
We really worked well together. We have worked well together, and so every video just keeps on getting better and better and better. And I thought, like, yeah, let's make this video. Let's show people that there's just a ton of opportunity in what we're both doing, and we're no way near saturation in what we're doing. Like, there are books out there right now that are being sold that we don't even know about. So yeah, I'm great subject, great idea, and I'm just happy to be on again.
Yeah, absolutely. There's over 100 million titles listed on Amazon. And at any given time, just with BookMine, we find a few thousand books that potentially are just great buys. And what we wanted to do today to show you that online book arbitrage is by no means saturated is Victor and I are going to show you our sales today.
Yeah.
Today is actually July 29th of 2024. As you know, Victor Gallegos is really into seasonal books. I do some seasonal books because of Victor, but I still love just year-round books. I love books that take a longer time to sell, long-term books, long-tail books. But we're going to show ourselves, and we're going to go head-to-head, 1v1. You guys know who's going to win. It's always Victor.
No, Joji, when we say 100 million, we're just not throwing that number out there.
Yeah.
It's actually a little bit more than that. It's 104 million books out on Amazon right now.
Yeah.
that are purchasable right now. So it's not just some random number we threw out like, oh yeah, it's probably 100 million.
Yeah.
No, it's actually legitimately, that's how many books are on Amazon. And that's why we don't even think that we're not even, a 1/10 of 1% of the market. Yeah. And so, yeah, I think I probably got you beat today, but there's other days, definitely, Joji, you definitely beat me out. Right. But because it's textbook season. So, I'm the high school book king, apparently.
Yeah, you absolutely are the high school king. If you guys don't, by the way, if you guys are new to the channel, you don't know who Victor Gallegos is, make sure you watch part 1, part 2, part 3 of the interview series if you want to get your mind blown and kind of see what's going on. Make sure you join Victor's seasonal online book arbitrage group. We'll link that down below.
And, hey, are we calling this part 4 or what are we doing? We're just
it might as well be
I'm just on the channel.
Yeah, it might as well be part 4 of the interview series.
Okay, cool. All right.
The head-to-head, Victor Gallegos versus Joji Davenport. More importantly, we're going to see, is there any overlap? Are we both selling the same books, right?
Yeah.
And
okay.
I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to go and dive into Amazon here. I'm going to go ahead and refresh the page. You guys know this is actually live data. So it looks like we've got $2,257 in sales, which I will be honest is the highest that I've had in a single day this year. And that's why I selfishly picked this day because I really want to beat Victor. But you can see my weekly snapshot. So we were at 1,500, 1,800, so almost made it there, 1,600. And then it was on a little bit of a downslide, 800, 700, 700, and boom, back up to 2,257. And you will kind of see what Victor is at here in a second. But we're going to go ahead and click the manage orders page, and we're just going to look at what has sold here. And then just keep these books in the back of your mind. And we're, when we look at Victor's account and look at what he sold today, and we'll see if there's any comparison here. So, ever see this book here, The Curse of Canaan, Victor?
No, I imagine it's a very slow moving all year round book.
Yeah, it is. Okay. They have purchased this for like 20, sold for 75. Never seen it. Calculus for AP book. This one actually sold a little bit cheaper. This is actually a book that was from 2022. This is actually one of my bad buys. So, sometimes you just have to get rid of inventory. The great thing about books is that the margins are so high that you could even sell, as long as you're getting 60, 70% of your books selling at a pretty high margin. The other ones, you kind of just need to figure out how to recoup your investment back, try to break even, or even if you've got to lose money, that's really what's going to make you really profitable, right?
Yeah, and that's a good point, Joji. I bet you lost like $10 off that book, right?
Yeah.
But if we go to the next book after that, so you lose $10, oh well. A lot of people would be like, oh my gosh, I'm losing at this. not realizing, okay, you lost $10, but look at this next book. You probably bought this book for like $10 or $20 and sold it for 150. So
Yep. So there's a book right there, sold for $150. This book
that's
right here,
crazy.
Credo Curriculum, maybe, and this definitely has like sort of a high school pattern from looking at
Yep.
that keep a snapshot there. I'm sure you've probably never seen this book, The Golden Treasury of Mist.
Never seen that book.
Sold that for 50. Think I've sold this book. And this is a good point as well, is that something that is going to make you really successful is selling replens, right? So selling a book over and over again. So if you look at the Keeper graph, now this is a book that, let's see, I'm actually just on my order page here and we'll see. I believe I've sold this book. Yeah. So look at this book. Victor, you have no idea what this book is?
I've never even seen the book, and I've
Yeah.
been, a bookseller for 7 years. So
Yeah. And so there you go. So I've
yeah,
sold that book four
wow,
times for $50. Western Humanities here, and Christian Thought.
yep.
So it actually looks like a sort of college textbook. Live in Your Goosebumps. I doubt you're selling Goosebumps books
I've
for
not
$50.
seen. I've never sold that book either.
Yeah. Chemistry and Introduction, General Organic Biology.
Now that looks like a college book. I might have
Yep.
seen it, but I don't think I have it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Sold that for 140. Complete Review, Technician here for 35. Now this was a crazy one here, Victor.
yeah.
So
We got
this
to
week
hone into this book because when I
yeah,
saw what,
yeah.
wow, quantity of 17.
Quantity of 17 for this
Yeah,
book right here.
yeah,
It's a high school book. And I know Victor Gallegos and I always say, definitely don't go deep, go wide. That's the absolute opposite of this. But this particular book I actually got for free. My high school was adopting a new math curriculum and we're going to throw these books in the dumpster. And so I basically took 20 of them and said, oh, we'll sell on Amazon. And clearly, this is a book that has a seasonal pattern. Obviously, had a much better seasonal pattern, when you go back 6, 7, 8 years ago. Over time, I mean, it's still definitely selling and actually
yeah.
selling quite well, and it does have a high school pattern. But one other teaching moment that I want to give here, Victor, is actually just looking at what happened today. So look at this. 7 hours ago, Victor, is when this sold,
Yep.
right?
Right.
What we
Yep.
tend to think is that when a book sells, the sales rank drops, right? So
Right.
you can actually see how the sales rank just dropped today. It
And it
dropped
did
from
drop. Yep.
500,000 to 138,000. But was that one sell, Victor?
Apparently not. It was 17 sales.
It was
17 units were sold, and it looks from Keepa looks like just like one sale.
just looks like one drop. You
Yeah.
can see how the
Right.
offer count did go down from 32 to 29, 28. And
Yeah.
again, this is probably going to be a high school who just needs to replace a bunch of their books, right? A really big public high school, 3, 4,000 students. They need to replace a class set, or they're adding a new class. They need a class set. I mean, 17 is going to be like half of a class set. So Victor, I probably could have sold more if I had more in stock, right? But
Yeah. So that was your whole inventory, right? You sold
yeah,
out on that book altogether.
yeah, I
And
sold out on that.
I think it's good to like hone into. I've been preaching that for quite a long time, that when high schools need books, they'll just come and buy all your inventory out. So sometimes, when you have like 10, 15 copies and you're over here worried, just wait for that school district to show up and buy out your whole inventory, which just happened there. So I mean, congrats.
Yep, we have a
Uh,
book here. We sold for $59.99. I'm sure you've ever seen that book. But
I haven't.
the Goosebumps, I Live in Your Basement. So we sold that one. That was
Twice.
actually
Yeah.
a new Amazon to Amazon flip. So I bought this in new condition from Amazon
Mm.
and sold it actually in used, very good condition. So even though I probably could have sold it in new condition because it was purchased from an Amazon third party new seller, I still just wouldn't even bother. I just sell it in new condition. So, anyways, sold for 32. What about this? Jazz, Race, and Social Change?
Yeah, I've never sold that book.
Concepts and Principles of Behavioral Analysis,
No.
98. Now, this is a book that again doesn't sell.
This is crazy because I've never even seen these books, right? And
Yeah.
you sold these books today. This isn't like, oh, let's go through your inventory. These are just the books you've sold today.
Yeah.
I have seen this AP book, right?
Okay.
It is a high school book, and
Yeah.
maybe that might be one of the only books we overlap on.
Okay, so we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's keep going. 13 hours ago, we had this Wedding Peach, Volume 7, $49.99. Probably picked this up for less than $15. Legal Ethics in the Practice of Law, $89.
Wow.
OMT Review for $99. This is a great lesson here for anyone for Amazon out of stock books. So, BookMine is a software that Victor Gallegos and I built together. And one of the metrics for BookMine score is whether or not Amazon's in stock. What you'll notice with a book like this, Victor, is when Amazon goes out of stock, and actually, let's just view this on Keepa because it'll be a little bit easier for everyone to see here in the Keepa graph.
Yeah.
But this was a book that Amazon was clearly on, Victor, right? Selling for the
Right.
$50 range. And what do you notice happening here, Victor, when Amazon goes out of stock?
Which is a great thing, which happens almost every time that Amazon goes out of stock with a popular book. Once Amazon goes out of stock, it like basically opens the lid, And now the price just kind of spikes from that point because
Right.
Amazon was basically holding the price down. But once they sold out, there goes the price, right? It
Right.
literally can double in price in just a few days. So I imagine you saw that, took advantage of it, and sold it for a much higher price.
Yeah. So I mean, so look at this here. So we're looking at a book. So Amazon went out of stock. I saw the price
Mhm.
down here at 29 bucks. And basically by the time I was able to get it into inventory, I was actually out of stock. And so I was like, oh, I'm the only person selling this book, Victor.
Yeah,
I'm just going to charge
yeah, you could
99.90.
basically name your price at
Yeah.
that
And so
point.
I
Yeah,
was like, I'll just charge almost double the price. And would you look at that? $99, right? We've got this book, Tom Lynch 100 Watercolor Workshop lesson charts. I mean,
now I've seen that book, but I don't. I haven't. I know I haven't sold it in quite a long time. So
okay.
yeah,
And then why Tesla? So the theories and issues in teaching English to speakers of other languages, $124 for that book. And then that basically sums up $2,000 in sales. So again, definitely a better day than normal because of the fact that we had I mean, that was incredibly lucky. It's not like that happens all the time. But again, normally I don't go very deep on any book anyways, but it's a good lesson that, a couple lessons here. One, that it's very possible if you have high school books that you could just have a bunch of your copies just bought out at once. But then also remember when you look at the graph, one sales drop doesn't necessarily mean a single sale. It means that the book became more popular. It must have sold at least once, right, Victor?
yeah,
So,
and that happens to me a lot.
yeah.
Lots of units go out up by the same buyer, and a
Yep.
lot of times it's because of school districts. So we happen to be when we buy a lot of high school books, that tends to happen a lot. So
Yep.
yeah, you want to see some of my books?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's dive into your account and let's see if we sold any of the same books. Because again, we want to know if online book arbitrage is saturated or not. We want to see
Yeah.
if if there's only a handful of books or if there's literally thousands of books that you could be choosing from that are just great. Awesome. All
Okay,
right,
so
here we
let
go.
me I guess go to
Woo!
let me show you where I'm at. Okay, so this is my day to day. I don't. I mean, I just landed on this page. I don't know if I need to refresh it again, but basically $4,359.
Sales for today.
71 sales, and yeah, virtually, which we'll get to the next page here, but virtually all of them were high school books. So,
All high school books.
yeah, it's a great time to be a high school bookseller. And there's just a ton of profit in these type of books. I've been doing it for 7 years. It's just for me, it's just the way to go, right? And you can see that both me and you, Joji, we work together on a daily basis, but yet we're gonna have more than likely a completely different books that are sold today. So let's check that out. Let's go to my manage inventory and the sold page. All right, so let's check out this book. It's a Saxon geometry book.
Yep.
I just looked at your books, right? So
Yep.
this is definitely a high school book. You don't have that book, and I just sold it for $83.
Yep. That's a great publisher though. Great
Yeah,
high school publisher. Yep.
exactly. If you ever need, like, if you're just starting out with high school books, go look for
Exactly.
Saxon. Just type in Saxon. You're gonna find a ton of high school books just that way.
Yep.
Another just high school book here, exploring creation with
Creation.
general science.
Don't have it.
Yeah. Um,
Didn't sell it. Don't have it.
Yeah.
Because
This
it's a
book,
limit.
matter of fact, at the Books and Beyond, I even thought about thanking Ron Larson. He's actually an author of a lot of these books,
Yep.
a lot of math books, and this just happens to be another one of his math books, right? So it's another high school book, a great book.
And before you
Um,
go on, so you're
yeah,
mentioning Books and Beyond. So
yeah,
everyone, we're going to show
yeah.
the website real quick here and some
Let's
B-roll.
go.
So the Books and Beyond Resellers Conference happening September 13th through 15th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Really hope that you can join us there because we're bringing together the best men and women in the book selling space. And it's going to be an awesome time. You can meet Victor and I in person and all those other amazing speakers and hear them talk. We will also be speaking. And yeah, it's going to be an awesome event. So
I
maybe
think what's
Victor
also
will take.
important is that we're also going to have like panels, right? We're actually going to be able to learn things and there's going to be a ton of takeaways that you can put into your business. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a great conference, and I recommend all you guys to come.
Yep. Okay, let's go down.
All right,
Foundations.
Trick
I've never
Foundations
seen
is
never seen that book in my
you
life.
never seen this book. Another high school book. Do you see
Look at
there?
that pattern right there.
Yep. Just so easy to see. Let's go ahead and just click on this book just to kind of hone into how simple what I just did, right? Basically, I bought the book down here in this valley for $8 and then sold it over here when it's
Can you actually just can you bring up a Keepa page and we'll actually show this in Keepa just to make
yeah.
this, or you can maybe even zoom in like that. But no, let's just
Let's go to
go to Keepa, yeah, because if we can go to Kiba specifically and show this, it'll be a little bit more zoomed in. But
Yeah.
I mean, the seasonality part is pretty easy to understand, right? And
Yeah, and this is
again,
all I'm doing with these high school books is this exact thing right here, which we're gonna be able to see. Anytime in January, February, March, April, May, this book is $8 to $10.
yeah,
Really simple, $8 to $10. And then every August and September, this book spikes to $38. So very simply here, any day you want to wake up, when you decide today's the day I'm going to buy books, wake up and buy this book, right? Literally February, March, April, May, June. And just know that the same pattern it will happen again with this book. And it's 1100 days old, which means that this pattern has happened at least like 4 times, right? So,
you know, one,
2021, 2022, 2023, and now again, surprise, surprise, it's happening again.
okay,
And you can really see, right? You can see the used offer count there this
really,
last
really
year has
dipping.
really just started dipping. So
Huge.
we might even get a little bit higher than $38. This dam might break at $38, and we might actually go a little bit higher because this is a really positive sign for that book like this. But yeah, that's why I sold this book. I imagine I have other copies of that same book in
Yeah.
stock now.
Pro tip real quick, make sure you
Yeah,
guys join Victor's seasonal online book arbitrage group. Again, we'll link that down below. The reason why I say pro, or I should say the pro tip in uh in doing that is
yeah,
go back and sort posts
yeah.
newest because your group has been alive, I believe, since 2018. So
That's right.
it's been around for more than a minute. And you always will post books like, hey, buy this book. And year after year, those books tend to do good. So a great sort of starting process, if you're sort of new to this, is go look at Victor's old posts where he just gives away free books. And
That's a great tip, Joji. Matter of fact, a book like this, I posted this book at least 4 or 5 times in my group, the environmental science for AP, and it still does well for me. So when
yeah,
people say to me, they're like, "Hey, you're giving away, too many tips. You're going to saturate the market." I'm giving out this tip, but then I'm also buying this book and I'm still selling for a profit, right?
yeah,
This book, this American Pageant, I actually just posted this like last week. Last week, I was telling people, please buy this book.
yeah,
Like it's the last week before this book spikes, and it's still doing really well at $52. I sold it, so I'm guessing I bought this in the 20s,
yeah.
yeah, right under $20. This happens to be okay. So I said I was 95% high school
Yeah, that's
book
all
that I
year round
sold.
book.
This is an all year round book that has just happened to sell really well. So it does get thrown in. I do have other books in stock, but it just happens to be the vast majority of my books are high school books. So that's a special surprise in there.
I'm looking at one book that I know I have in stock, that BJU United States History
Yeah.
1.0.
Yep.
Okay, so I know I have that one in stock. I didn't sell it today, but I know I have that one in stock. That's
Well,
the
get ready. It's about to sell out for you soon because it's also really selling well for me. So another of that same exact book, The Environmental Science, another one of those books just sold for me. I mean, we could just go all day, right? This is another high school. This is the high school. In my eyes, I can immediately tell a high school book because I've just been with them so long, right? I can easily see that's a high school book. This is a high school book, and again, we're only 7 hours in, right? In the last 7 hours, I've sold these books.
yeah, crazy.
Here's another high school book.
And that's a huge one, National
Yeah,
Geographic. I've never even
yeah.
seen that book
You
before.
never even seen this book. Yeah, there's
Never
actually
seen
two
it.
different versions of it. Actually, there's a
Okay,
slightly cheaper version of the same exact book. But look, we're in the 60s, 65, $50, yeah, 50 to
yep,
$60, and it can easily go for like 140.
yep.
And I think I sold it for 120. So yeah, buy it 60, sell for 120 is what I did.
Yeah, so
Um,
you buy it 60 sell for 120, so you're talking about like 30-ish dollars profit, but I mean, that's
yeah,
huge. 50% margin. I mean, $30 profit per book, per title. I mean, that's
yeah,
pretty
because
good.
Georgia, I'm not even touching the book, right? I'm
Yeah,
buying 5 of those copies, making $30 each, and it's $150 in profit off of just about a 5-minute worth of work here, right? Go in, buy that book, and then just list it for 122, 125, whatever that is, and then sell them. So,
huge. Oh, okay,
um,
I've actually sold this book. I sold that book
oh,
yesterday.
which one? This one?
This whole McDougal. There we go. So we have a
Oh, yeah.
this
So this one, are you sure the one with the common core in it or not? Because this book looks almost identical to the other one. There's one that
that's
has common core
yeah,
in it,
maybe
one that
not.
does.
Maybe it was the other one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the
Yeah.
okay.
See, I'm so like, see, this is the other book. So this is the one
Oh, I
without.
see.
This is not Common Core, and then we'll click on this one, which is actually the Common Core one.
Oh, I see the
They're,
little common cord.
yeah, they're almost identical, and they both look like each other. I don't know which one you sold, but
Let me see.
anyway. I've also bought and sold both of these. So
Okay, let's see. I'm
yeah,
curious to see which one. Yeah, I sold the non-common core.
non one today.
Yeah.
Okay. So all
Yeah.
right. So we have
Or no,
one book
actually
in common.
yesterday, not
Yesterday.
today.
Okay. Never mind. Scratch that. We have no books in common
And I
still.
sold it. I sold mine yesterday for 34.47.
Oh,
Sold
should
yours
have
for
held
how
out
much?
for 35.95.
I should help. Dang it. I guess I'll just make $13 profit instead of $14. Dang it. Yeah. Right. It's all good.
um.
All jokes aside, it's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Whoa, what is this Air Awakens book? This doesn't look like a seasonal book.
This is not a seasonal book. This is all year round book. These are always fun because it's such an anomaly for me to find a book that's not an all year a high school book. Then I'm like, oh wow, okay. How did I even find this book? I must have. I think I bought this off of eBay. So because I don't see I actually bought it. So yeah, I must have bought it off eBay at a really good deal, and yeah, it sold well for me. So
Crazy. Awesome.
another high school book. I mean,
Never
this
seen
is
that book.
$117, huh?
Said some of these books I've seen before. Not
Okay,
like
okay.
this
How
book
about this one? This one's
I've never
actually a
even seen that
pretty
book.
new Ways of the World for AP. This is the newer edition of a really popular high school book. I think it just came out maybe a year or two ago, and it's still doing well. So 2023, March 2023, so a year ago. And this book, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to get into like 190 this year. I probably sold it too cheap for me. But yeah, this book is going to be a great book for years to come. So if you guys are able to see Ways of the World for AP, make sure you really track this book and buy it next year. This book can get down to like $78, and I'm thinking this book will probably sell for like the 180s, 190s
The cool
this year and again for the years to come.
the cool thing about high school
Yeah,
books is you can also kind of pick your niche or your range within the high
yeah,
school textbook because like you're seeing that some of these books Victor's like picking up for 80, selling for 180, picking
yeah.
up for 60, selling for 120, picking up for 90, selling for 170, and then some picking up for 6, selling for 35. So you can be in whatever range that you want, and you can be successful in kind of all those price ranges.
And Doji, since now I think we've kicked out everyone in that have or the people who have stopped watching us are not our true followers, right? The people
Right.
who are not really watching us. So I think I can give you some actually really great information right now. All right. So something I haven't really talked about, which will really help people find even more high school books, is also clicking on the authors' names. So if you click on
Gotcha.
the authors' names over here, by this author or
Huge.
by this author, a lot of times you're going to be able to find a ton more like high school book. Like, look, I just clicked on this
Ooh,
author.
that's a huge yeah.
These are
Wow.
all bangers. Like, this is a
Yeah.
great high school book. This is a great. I can just go all day. This is great high
Yeah.
school. All of these are
Wow,
just
that's
like
huge.
clicking.
That's
Yeah,
huge, Victor. Wow.
I can't believe I just gave that out, but there you
Yeah.
go.
There you go. That's huge. I mean, because it's something so subtle, makes so much sense, but it's something you don't think about, and look how crazy that is. That's huge.
276 results. I guarantee the majority of those are high school books.
Yeah.
So
Wow, that's
go through
incredible.
go through those high school
Ron
books.
Larson? Ron
Yep.
Larson? Yeah,
Yep.
Ron
Ron
Larson.
Larson, that's another one. Exactly.
That's huge. There you go. So, for all the longtime followers, the people who are actually still here, people
Yeah.
watch, they really believe in what we're saying. We're not lying to you, everyone. Like,
No.
these are real sales. 2:59 PM, 8
Yeah.
hours ago. Now I was showing I mean, these are real book sales.
These are all book sales. And I could just go all day. I think maybe it'd even get kind of boring, but literally high school book,
It's just
all
nice.
of these. I'm just gonna kind of roll through them. Matter of fact, let me see. Okay, so this particular book right here, I clicked on it and I bought it like last year, and it really chipped out Delia, my wife. And because she actually said that this was her high school book when she was in high school.
That's crazy.
And
That's
I'm like,
incredible.
wow, okay. And then I'm still buying and selling this book. It's a pretty old book, but it still sells really well. So yeah, another high school book here. Just a ton of high school books, and we're still just at 12 hours, right? This is what 70 books get you. You just have a ton of high school books. Here's two of the same book. More and more high school books. This is not a high school book. Okay, so
But
there you go.
the crazy thing is there's less than I think we maybe sold there's gotta be less than 5 of these books that I've sold, but today, I think there's only maybe was there even
One.
one?
I don't think there was even one.
I
I
don't
think
think
you
there
said
was
there
even
was that
one that
one.
we sold
Yeah.
today.
So far, none of these, right? I don't know if you recognize any of them.
I recognize some of them,
Yeah.
and I
There's
know I have
another
2 of
Way of
them.
the World. Yeah.
No, I don't have that one. I
Yeah.
should. I probably should have it. But
Yeah. We finally made it to a day. We finally went through 17 books here, just a ton of high school books. I think we gave some really great information there. I wasn't planning on giving that information out until the Books and Beyond conference, but there you go. So
you
happy
know,
you guys got
that's
that.
huge.
And yeah, it's great. It's a great time to be a high school bookseller right now. It's a really simple process, right? Buy them, buy them in when it's like the non-season, which is basically February, March, April, May, and then sell them during the textbook season, which happens to be right now. So you know, when you see $4,300, more than likely I made about $2,000 in profit off of
Yeah,
those books. So
crazy. That's just a single day, everyone.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was just a day. So also some people say they're like, oh, okay, of course, you and Joji retired because you have Bookmine and making money off Bookmine. In actuality, that's a very small piece of my portfolio here. Like I actually make way more money actually buying and selling books than I do on Bookmine or anything like that. Those other projects are mostly to help out the community. What I really enjoy doing is just buying and selling books. So,
The other thing that's important to know is that we both reached financial independence before Bookmine was even made.
oh yeah,
No. So it
exactly.
wasn't like we created a software and or even the A2A Masterclass, and it's like that's what caused this or to
Yeah,
become financially independent. It's like what caused us to be financially independent was over the last 7 years having a full-time job, right? Having Amazon as an amazing income generator, and deciding to live frugally and invest the large majority of the money we're making from our jobs, and then also the money we're making from Amazon and put in other assets. Like you have real estate and stocks. I don't have real estate, but I do have stocks. And the thing is that it's all consistency. We tell everybody in the Bookmind community, everyone on my YouTube channel, buy 10 books a day. If you buy 10 books a day, you're buying over 3,000 books a year.
yeah,
If you're buying good books and you have over 3,000, you're going to be a six-figure bookseller. That's all it takes is 10 books per day. And the good thing is that it really isn't that difficult to buy 10 books a day when there are thousands of great books you can buy every day. Here's a great example. I mean, we just shared ourselves. I don't think we had one book today that we sold.
yeah.
Anyway, and
And
you
you
did
know,
great job
and
there.
some people think that like, well, 10 books is so difficult, right? But it is as an example right here, right? The American Pageant AP book. And I'm just gonna give you guys this lead, right? Here it is, the 16th edition. I put this in my Facebook group. You know about this book, Joji. Both Chris and Frank are my prep centers also know about this book because I send it to them all the time. But this is a book that when we tell people to buy 10 books, one of your days can just come in and buy this book, right?
Yeah,
Come in and buy 10 copies of this book, like, and you're done for that day because at least 10 copies will sell during textbook season. So,
yeah,
sometime January, February, March, where this book is like $8, $7,
that's
$6, come
crazy.
in, yeah, buy this book for 10 and, sell it in the 50s. Right now it's $59.99 or $65 actually right now. So think about that. Buy this for 10, sell it for 65, and you can buy this at least 10 times or more. It's just so simple to do this type of sourcing. And but the whole point of the our conversation, why I thought it was great that we both decided to do this, is just to really hone in that there's no way that this is saturated, right?
Yeah,
We have sold together today over 100 books, and our 100 books that didn't match. Like there was no overlap today. And surprise, surprise, we also did this yesterday just to kind of talk to each other,
yeah,
not even realizing this would be a trend. And also yesterday, none of our books matched. So there's a ton of opportunities out there. 100 million books, which means that more than likely you won't ever see me on a listing, or you won't see other people on it. Like you can have your own niche and still do really well with books.
yeah,
So
absolutely. What I also want to do is actually share an
funny.
easy way for you to actually find some Christmas books. So, I mean, Victor just gave away some free game. Look at the actual author title.
I
Pick
know
the
that's great, right?
publisher. Those
Yeah,
are huge. Now, what we also did is on Bookmine, we added a bunch of high school books, or at least remember the way that Bookmine's algorithm works is to show you a Bookmine score. But we
mhm,
actually have a book type where you can actually look at only high school books, and this is gonna be crazy once high school textbook season is over and prices start coming down again. But this is a great place for you to see tons of high school books that are inflating in price, and books that are going to
yeah.
be great for. I mean, it's going to be a little bit too late this year now as we're starting. I mean, we're in the midst of textbook season for high school now, but
Yeah, matter of
this
fact,
is
that book right there, Joji, the Vista one, is the
yeah,
book I just sold. So yeah,
yeah,
there's actually books on there that I just sold today that are
yeah.
on Bookmine. So
Oh, and so there's also just a bunch of books that we found for you already that you can use there with just the book type. And again, there's just going to be so many more of these books available. And here's a book that I'm already thinking I'm going to buy just from looking at. You can see how the price just dropped today. Look at this. So the price is down here in the 29s. You can see it was selling at lowest price in the 70s, buy boxing in the hundreds, and then actually had the lowest price over 100 with plenty of sales there. And I think this is the cheapest this book has ever been. I don't think this book has ever been cheaper than this.
Wow.
And it looks like the lowest he's price going to keep it here was July 23rd. It's actually 6 days ago, $20, the cheapest price this book has ever been. And yeah, this Big Ideas book or publisher, I mean, they do really well. I mean, that's a book that I would highly consider buying, especially because September is still going to be pretty good for this book. But again, you guys can snag a free trial of Bookmine if you want to use it. I mean, it's just a awesome tool. It's really used to make sourcing easier for people because one of the things that people tell us when they say they can't get to 10 books a day is that there's just too many decisions that they need to make. It's too complicated. So Victor and I are like, how can we make it easier? How can we
Yeah.
bring people to the best place to fish where you just literally like throw in the line, boom, you just get like the fish just eats it up without you
Get 'em.
needing to skill. It's like, where can we go to find the best potential books that you can buy? And so that's why we end up developing Bookmine. And the cool thing about Bookmine, I'm not going to give away too many details, is that it's not a dead product, meaning we're updating new features. We've got
Yep.
some really exciting things coming up. If you're not a Bookmine member, you're
We have been
likely
working
going to
behind
be
the
a Bookmine
scenes.
member.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've constantly been polishing it. We've been working on it. We're trying to get it so well, so efficient that literally you're just gonna need to click on Bookmine, and almost every book on there is gonna be great with a ton of different options. Whichever way you like to source. If you like to source fast moving books with kind of slower or lower ROI, if you want to look for like books that maybe don't sell as much but have high ROI, we want that option too. If you want to source seasonal books, there's the other options too. I know, Joji, you just clicked on high school books, but we also have Christmas books on there and some summer books and things like that. So there are tons of different ways to source on Bookmine, and we want to make that even easier for you guys out there. So because like it's cool that we're over here showing, hey, Joji, you made $2,000 and I made $4,000, and that's great for us. But we're trying to help you guys out, right?
Yeah.
We want to make you guys as successful as us or even better. So
And at the end of the day, and I tell people this all the time, and I don't say this to be mean to people. I just say the difference between me and you. I'm not talking about you, Victor. I'm talking about other people. I'm like, the difference between me and you is that I just have way more books than you do. Like if I look at your inventory, I'm not again talking about Victor. I'm looking like let's say we have a one-on-one coaching session.
Sure.
I look at your inventory. You have 100 books in stock. I have got 1,700 books in stock. Who's gonna win? It's gonna be me just because I bought more books. It's a consistency game. It's the person that shows up every day, is buying 10 books a day. I mean, it's there. It's the best. Also, one tip that I have for you is make sure you go watch this Bookmine video we just posted that was why we think the A2A online book arbitrage model is the safest model out there.
Mhm.
And it has to do with you actually have invoices if you buy the book directly on Amazon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, go watch that video. That's a really cool video. But I think we're going to wrap it up here just because it is late at night. That's when Victor and I tend to get stuff done. Why? Because we're both financially independent and I'm spending time with my wife and my son during the day. And I don't know.
Spend time with my wife and we just kind of hang out with each other. Yeah. It's great times. I'm loving this. I mean, I've been doing it now a little over 2 years. So it's perfect. Can't wait till you guys, our audience, gets to that point. But you have to take action. You have to start buying books. You have to understand keep it charts. I've been helping this audience, this group for 7 years altogether. Joji is very similar to that, but you guys have to just take action and start building. And I think it's finally catching on, Joji. I think we're finally getting some people actually buying and selling some books, and we're both really excited about that. And one last time to talk about the Books and Beyond conference. Make sure you guys at least go to the website, consider it. By the time this video comes out, I think there'll still be a few days before the prices move up again.
Yeah.
Because we're not even at break even seriously right now. So we got to at least get to break even and then go from there. So we're just really excited to do the conference and do it with you guys. And hopefully we would love to meet you guys in person.
Yep. So again, it's not like it's an income grab. It's not like we're setting a conference to make a bunch of money off you. It's like we're trying to bring the best men and women from the book selling community, trying to build a community. The goal is for us to break even. If we can break even, that means not lose money. That's great because some of you may not know this, but conferences are very expensive to hold because if you bring speakers, it's customary that you have to pay for their flights, you have to pay for the hotels. Hotels try to upcharge, conference rooms try to upcharge it, every little thing. Then you have
the event, insurance.
There's just so much.
Yeah.
So if we can get break even, that's fine. Even if we lose some money, that's fine because
Yeah.
that's our way to give back. That's our way to grow the community. And selfishly, I like to hang out with Victor in person. And
Yeah.
selfishly, I like to meet people who follow us in person. It's cool to be like a celebrity for a day or 2 days. And then
I
and
really
then go
think I'm
back
gonna
to
lose
normal
my
life.
voice. I'm happy I'm talking on Saturday and not Sunday
Yeah.
because I think by Sunday my voice is gonna be yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
So hope you all enjoyed this video, and hopefully you see that this online book arbitrage model is gonna be here for years to stay. I mean, last time I checked, there's over 100 million products listed on Amazon. If I had to guess, in the next few years, it's gonna be more than 100 million books listed on Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't see it going anywhere. I'm not seeing any saturation. I've only sold more and more every year, despite
Yeah.
giving away more and more information, which is kind of crazy. And I'm just excited where things are going.
This
So
model is here to stay.
yep. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you on the next one for a part 5 of Victor Gallegos. So peace out. Later,
All right.
Victor.
Bye.